Race number 11, the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf, and it's a good one. A battle between the U.S.-based horses and the Europeans, and there are some good Europeans. And you know what the best way to play the Breeders' Cup Turf is to play it through NYRA Bets. A terrific sign-up bonus, earn it to $1,000, 10% of your action through Breeders' Cup weekend for new members only. Head to NYRABets.com for much more information. Let's start out with last year's winner of the Breeders' Cup Turf, and that was Highland Real. Highland Real last year was in a situation that he doesn't rate to be in this year. He was able to control the pace, and in getting a very heads-up ride by his rider, in this case Heffernan, he was able to control in the front, and Flintshear couldn't catch him. And Flintshear was very good last year. But I think he was also coming sort of the end of his run. And this is a very interesting Breeders' Cup this year, and Highland Real is not the speed, because Beach Patrol and Oscar Performance have more speed. Yes, Highland Real is going to appreciate a firmer turf, but I don't like his form coming in this year. I don't like him coming back in 2 weeks, and he's going to have to deal with Oscar Performance, who I think is going to go right to the lead. I don't think they're going to fool around this time, and Beach Patrol, who will likely sit second to him. They are likely to be in front of Highland Real. Now, Oscar Performance took a real step forward, and while he lost this race, and he lost second by a nose to Fanciful Angel, who ran well to beat him, I think Oscar Performance ran the better race of the two. But nobody was close to Beach Patrol. Yes, Beach Patrol has been good throughout his career. And before winning the Arlington Million, he had been a tough luck loser of some big races. He should have won that Turf Classic, particularly down at Churchill Downs. Having said that, his Arlington Million was good. The Turf Classic we just looked at was great. What turned him from good to great? Well, maybe it was the mile and a half. He had never gone the mile and a half distance before. There had been a little bit of rain, and even though the course was firm, they were tearing the top a little bit, and he really might have liked the going. But at the end of the day, if Beach Patrol runs back to that race in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic, the Europeans better have their running shoes on. I'm picking against him. I picked him fourth, but I am very scared of him. His last race was extremely good. But so is Ulysses, and Ulysses comes over from Europe, and in my opinion, I think in the opinion of many, he is the horse to beat in this Breeders' Cup Turf. We're taking a look at Ulysses winning the Juddmonte International, the Group 1 at York, where he easily beat Churchill, who decided to go against the classic horses, and Barney Roy, a very talented horse. Ulysses came back with a third-place finish behind Enable in the Prix de l'Arc, and they waited until this race to come back. Ulysses coming in for Sir Michael Stout is a very, very talented runner, and I believe that he's going to be the horse to beat in this race. I'm not picking him on top. I have a wise guy idea in the other European that I'm going to talk about in a couple of seconds, but I am very scared of Ulysses. The horse I'm picking on top in this race is the one Talismanic. Talismanic is a European coming in with more Group 2 type form, and he is not shown to be good enough yet to beat the likes of Ulysses and even Highland Real and some others. But his trainer, Andre Fabre, is not the kind of guy that's going to ship over a horse that he doesn't feel has a chance. And if you look at his last race, the Prix Foy, which is a big-time prep for the Arc de Triomphe, he finished third in a small field. The second-place finisher was also a Godolphin horse. His Talismanic is a Godolphin horse, a horse named Cloth of Stars. And I thought in watching the race that Talismanic ran the better race than Cloth of Stars. All Cloth of Stars did in his next race is come back and finish second in the Arc and finish ahead of Ulysses. Talismanic, despite his lower form, seems to be improving at the right time for a trainer who had a plan with this 4-year-old to get him to the Breeders' Cup. And I'm going to trust in Andre Fabre and Talismanic, the improving horse, who might be coming to this Breeders' Cup not as an afterthought, but as the race they've been pointing to all year. So I like Talismanic, the number 1, at a big price in here. There's another horse we have to look at from Europe, and that's Decorated Knight. Now, Decorated Knight's connections didn't even know what Breeders' Cup race they were going to. He's a horse that has never run a mile and a half in his career. And while Talismanic and Ulysses, you know, have no problems with the longer distance races, Decorated Knight, who we saw close from last at 25-1 to win the Irish champion at Leopardstown here, he is questionable going a mile and a half, and he's going to have to run his very best race at that distance to do it. In my opinion, he would have been better off going the mile. I'd have picked him in the mile for better or worse. I don't want him going a mile and a half, and I don't want him doing it against these horses. I haven't mentioned other players in here. I do want to mention Sadler's Joy. I don't think that Sadler's Joy is good enough to win, but I think he's good enough to get third or fourth at a price. If you look at the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic, the speed horses kind of had the run of the race, so his deep closing style didn't work. I don't know if he'll get enough speed, but I think he can get a piece of this race at a price, and I'm going to throw him in somewhere as well. I, however, am picking the 1 Talismanic on top in the Breeders' Cup Turf over the 5 Ulysses. Saddler's Joy, I've got third. I have Beach Patrol fourth. I respect Beach Patrol. I'm not going to leave him out of any of the pick 4 plays, but I'm going to try to beat him, and I'm going to try to make some money with Talismanic, one of my big price plays in this Breeders' Cup sequence. And I'll be playing Exactas, and I'll be playing them on my mobile device, and I'll be playing them through NyraBets. And I'm going to earn a 10% winner's bonus on any exact I hit on these Breeders' Cup races. More information at nyrabets.com.